You're out on the water. No lanes, no stop signs, no shoulder to pull onto. And then you see it. A patrol boat angles toward you. Blue lights hit the surface. A loudspeaker crackles. Your stomach drops. Most people think, if I'm not doing anything wrong, I'll just talk my way through it. Stop right there. Because when police stop your boat, your words matter more than you think. One helpful answer can turn a routine contact into a criminal investigation. I'm Adam Rossen. I'm a Florida criminal defense attorney. And today, I'm going to give you 5 ways to protect yourself during a police stop on the water. By the end of this video, you'll know 4 things. First, why officers can contact you even when you feel like you didn't do anything wrong. Second, the exact phrases to use. What to say when police stop your boat, so you don't talk yourself into trouble. Third, what the Boater Freedom Act changed in Florida and what it does not change. And fourth, the 5-step playbook to keep a stop calm, short, and boring. Because this isn't a conversation, it's evidence being collected. Let's talk about the stakes. A water stop can start with a small thing. A wake zone issue, a near miss, someone sitting where they shouldn't be sitting, a livery violation, a navigation light problem, a complaint from another boater, a safety concern. And once an officer is alongside you, they're not just looking at the boat. They're looking at you, your speech, your hands, your eyes, how you move, how your passengers act. Here's what makes boating stops tricky. Normal boating conditions can make sober people look impaired. Sun and glare, heat, dehydration, fatigue, sea legs, balance issues when you step off, even just being on a rocking deck all day. So if alcohol enters the conversation, you are one misunderstood moment away from a BUI investigation. There was a Florida report about a Jupiter boater whose stop escalated into a BUI arrest allegation, and later testing reportedly showed 0.00. I'm not telling you that to scare you. I'm telling you because the lesson is real. Even if you did nothing wrong, once the stop turns into, let's build a case, you don't get to rewind what you said. That's why this video exists. So here are the 5 ways to protect yourself. Make the approach safe and make the scene boring. The minute you see the patrol boat, lower the temperature, slow down safely, follow directions, don't make sudden moves, don't shout across the water, turn the music down, have people sit, get the cooler closed, keep hands visible. A chaotic boat invites a deeper look. A calm boat ends stops faster. This is not about looking perfect. It's about not giving an officer extra reasons to keep you there. Number 2, give what you must give and nothing extra. If they ask for required documents and vessel information, provide it smoothly. Do not argue. Do not delay. Do not make it a big performance. But once you've provided what's required, you stop volunteering. A lot of boaters don't realize how often friendly chatter becomes the report. Where were you coming from? How long have you been out? Who's drinking? What's in the cooler? Did you have anything today? So here's a simple sentence that keeps you polite without feeding the case. Officer, I'm happy to provide my required documents. I'm not going to answer any other questions. Short, calm, respectful. Number 3, the moment alcohol comes up, you switch scripts. This is the biggest moment in the whole stop. The officer asks, have you had anything to drink? Most people answer like this. Just one, a couple, not that much. I'm fine. Those are admissions, even if you think they're harmless. Here's what to say when police stop your boat and the questions drift toward drinking. Officer, I'm going to remain silent. Then stop talking. If they push again, you say, I want to speak with my attorney. If you want the softer version, you can say, Officer, I'm not answering questions. You're not being rude. You're not being difficult. You're protecting yourself from giving them the building blocks of probable cause. Because at that point, you're not clearing things up. You're giving them evidence. Number 4, do not consent to searches. On the water, this is where stops grow legs. If an officer asks to look in compartments, coolers, bags, or storage, most people say yes because they think cooperation ends the stop. Sometimes it does the opposite. Consent turns a short contact into a full exploration. So if you don't want to consent, here's your line. Officer, I don't consent to any searches. That's it. No lecture, no sarcasm, no argument about rights, just a clear statement. Now, can an officer still search under certain legal theories? In some situations, they'll claim they can. That's exactly why you don't hand them consent for free. And one more important point, the U.S. Coast Guard is federal. State rules don't change federal authority. So don't confuse I don't consent with I don't have to follow lawful instructions. You can protect your rights without escalating the stop. Number 5, understand the Boater Freedom Act, but don't weaponize it. A lot of people heard about the Boat of Freedom Act and took away the wrong message. Here's the right one. Florida changed the rules so state and local officers generally can't stop or board a vessel for the sole purpose of doing a random safety inspection. Safety equipment violations are treated as a secondary offense instead of the main reason for a stop. That's meaningful. But it does not mean you get to be a courtroom lawyer on the deck. I've seen boaters online talk about feeling hassled during water stops, like safety checks are being used as a pretext. Whether you agree with that or not, your best move is not to fight on the water. Handle the stop smart. If you want one sentence that asserts control without escalating, it's this. Officer, am I being detained or am I free to go? That question forces clarity, and it keeps you from filling the silence with explanations. You may also hear boaters talk online about the Florida Freedom Boater decal. Some people joke about it, some people love it. Some people think it changes everything. Treat it like what it is, a tool, not a shield. Even if the law limits random inspections by state and local officers, officers can still stop you for actual violations. And if they already believe something is wrong, the decal doesn't magically end the conversation. So don't let a decal give you confidence that your mouth can't hurt you. Now let me put all 5 steps into one simple flow you can remember under stress. When police stop your boat, you do this. You make it safe and calm. You provide required documents. You do not volunteer information. If alcohol comes up, you say, I'm going to remain silent and I want my attorney. If they ask to search, you say, I don't consent to searches. And if you're unsure what's happening, you ask, am I being detained or am I free to go? That's the playbook. Because the biggest danger on the water isn't just a bad decision, it's a bad sentence. A sentence you say out loud that ends up in the report and lives there forever. Now let me recap what I promised you. First, you learned why officers can contact you even when you feel like you didn't do anything wrong. Second, you got the exact phrases, what to say when police stop your boat, so you don't talk yourself into trouble. Third, you learned what the Boater Freedom Act changed in Florida and why you still shouldn't argue law on the water. And fourth, you learned the 5-step plan to keep stops calm and short. Make it safe, provide required documents, stop talking, don't consent to searches, and ask if you're detained or free to go. Your rights are your only shield. Use them. We'll see you in the next video.